hulls between us at the moment.
Here's some crashing content. Yeah. There we go. Look.
I'm Matt. This is Ben. You're watching Small Craft Tasmania, and this is the WindRider 17.
Designed by multi-hull legend Jim Brown, the WindRider 17 was certainly ahead of its time when first launched in 2002. The thick rotor-moulded polyethylene hulls and the heavy-duty aluminium uckers give you the impression that this is a solid boat. Everything from the cockpit sole to the comfy padded seats to the sails and deck fittings are high quality. This boat was built to last. However, the ruggedness doesn't detract from its simplicity. The WindRider 17 takes us around 30 minutes to rig. Just make sure you've got enough room at the ramp because she's nearly 13 feet wide. The long fixed keel will protect the fixed rudder from hitting something, although you'd need to be in less than 46 centimetres of water for that to happen. She weighs 180 kilos and has a payload of around 360. The huge forward cockpit and the comfy tramps provides enough room for 4 or 5 people, and that extra weight doesn't seem to slow this little rocket ship down. The fully battened main is held up by a chunky oversized semi-rotating mast. The main and jib total sail area is 139 square feet, with an extra 87 when the reacher is deployed. She'll comfortably do 11 knots in a 15 knot breeze, and some owners report high teens and beyond in the right conditions. You steer the boat with your feet like a sea kayak, leaving your hands free to play with the sheets or perhaps even read a book. Once you get used to this system, it's effective and intuitive. Sadly, the WindRider 17 ceased production in 2020 and only a handful made it to Australia. Jim Brown successfully created something well outside the square. She's a fast, capable and comfortable cruising dinghy that will make even a novice look like they know what they're doing.
That's Charlotte Cove. That's where we launched. And the wind's picked up a little bit. We're doing 4 knots. It's probably only blowing about 5 knots. It's a very efficient boat. I've got both the headsails up and they just set absolutely perfectly. The big one on the end of the bowsprit is called a reacher, and that's an optional extra. When you buy the boat, you can order the bowsprit and that big reacher sail. Otherwise it just comes with the standard main, fully battened main, and the jib. Sails really well with both of those sails up. They set beautifully, and the sheets come back to here. They just clip into these cleats on the uckers. Incidentally, these are called uckers, aka. The floats on the outside, they're called armors, AMA. And then the center hull, this one here, this is what we call the Vaka, VAKA. And the main sheet is a bridle system that runs off the stern of the boat and then comes up out here. And so all of the sheets basically end up in a big pile in your lap. I've set up this continuous line steering and it works okay. But it's nice to be able to get out of the seat and just move around the boat and know that you can still steer it from different parts of the boat. I'm riding close to the island now and you can see all the kelp. And the WindRider just glides over the top. Doesn't get caught in the kelp. There's hardly any wind. We're still just ghosting along. I don't know how the boat's still finding enough wind to move. Extraordinary. I've got the E-Propulsion E-Light at, what is it? Yeah, flat out. So that's 500 watts. And according to water speed, just a tad under 5 knots. There's virtually no wind still. So that's all motor power. It's a very efficient hull and a great little motor. I'll tell you a story about the first day that I took this out with Joe, and it was blowing maybe 10, 12 knots, gusting up to about 15 knots. And I was in the helm seat having a great time, and Joe said, give me a go, give me a go. So we swapped over. I sat in the front, she sat in the back, and as soon as she sat in the back, the boat just took off. We gained probably an extra 2 knots. Top speed was over 11 knots. We swapped out again. I jumped back and I couldn't get the boat over 10 knots. I really think that the WindRider could benefit from the helm seat being a little bit further forward, maybe even where the ucker is, but unfortunately because of the design, this is where it is. And I really think that the extra weight at the back of the boat really slows it down. I've seen videos of people sailing these boats single-handed in the helm position at the back of the boat, and they're like that. They're just dragging their bum. They really need to sit flat. But the only way to do that is to put more weight up the front to balance the boat out. But once you do that, you're increasing the load, the capacity of the boat, and that's only going to slow it down anyway. So it's a catch-22 situation.
Rightio. This is the opening of Garden Island Creek, just here. You can see there's a little reef marker there. It's quite shallow. Probably only 2.5, maybe 3 feet here. So the mouth to this creek is quite narrow, and I'm hoping we're going to get through. It's really high tide at the moment, and that's handy. So I think we're going to get in. We've still got a bit of water here. Look at that, we just snuck in. There's a couple more obstacles that we've got to get past, which are okay with mono hulls. This fallen tree here has a branch coming up, which I'm hoping we're gonna miss. I know if we get close to it, then we shouldn't hit it. Yep, missed that. All right, if we just hug this shoreline here, watch out for this pine tree, and then there's another reef just in here, which I've put a marker on, and that's our beach just there. So you see this X here, that's a little reef marker that I put in. And that stick there, that's basically the outside of a sandbar. It's all along here. So if we just get around this reef and then we head straight in to the salty shack. Here we are. Mission accomplished.
Billy girl. Hello, Billy girl. You want to go on the boat?
She doesn't have a life jacket. Wow.
Yeah, the water's really tannic as well. It's been quite a bit of rain. No wind. Hopefully tomorrow's better.
Let me show you some of the mods that I've made since we've owned the WindRider. First thing I did was I got rid of the furler that was for the reacher. Originally it was one of these Harkins here, but the problem I had was I couldn't get enough line onto the furler for the reacher to completely furl. There was always a little bit of the sail left out. So I put a continuous line furler on here. I'll need to make a new continuous line because the line that comes with the continuous furler is only coming back to the forward cockpit. I need it to go
to the aft cockpit. The other thing we've done is I put a vang on. I've just put a bridle around here and another bridle just around the boom up here. You can see there. Okay, one of the other things I did was I got rid of the topping lift and I put some lazy mats on. The lazy mats are a variation on the lazy jacks. This is just a different type of lazy jack that I use. And if you look at our previous videos, you'll see how I've incorporated this on boats up to 21 feet and it works quite well. So we've got a line that runs from the hounds down to a clip here, and then we've got a continuous line that attaches at the aft end of the boom. This line comes up. I put a knot in this one because it helps keep the boom steady when you're setting the reefs. You can have that clip just running free along this line here, but the problem is then the boom tends to move around a little bit. Anyway, this continuous line comes down through this hole, and then I put a knot on it here and then attach this line that goes up into this clam cleat here. If you pull this line through this clam cleat, it pulls both of the lazy. You can see it's just a little bit hard because I've got the main sheet pulling the boom down at the moment. It's hard to do it with one hand, but if I pull this line, pulls the boom up, tightens the lazy mats, and allows you to drop the sail. It also acts as a topping lift. These are the seats or the chairs that you get with the WindRider. They're quite a high quality polyethylene moulded chair seat. They fold up like that, and these bolts slot into these positions here. So you just drop it in and then push it aft, or forward in this case. This is the forward position, so what happens is you can put the seat in this way so that you can sit facing aft, or you can slot it into these holes here and it gives you a forward facing position. That's pretty neat. This is a bilge inspection port here, and there's a bilge pump underneath there that also comes factory fitted. There's a bilge handle there, it goes into the bilge pump here, which is really well situated between the helmsman's legs, so that's very easy to use. These are your steering mechanisms here, so go left and right by just pushing down on those. You can see how that works. Pretty straightforward. The modification that I've done, you can see here, is this that I showed you before, the continuous line. And that continuous line goes up here around the forward cockpit, and then I've just got some low friction rings, and that just, you can see how that works. This is the chunky mast. It's an enormous mast. It's something you'd find on a 30-foot boat. This is the ball socket that the mast sits on. Now the idea is that for a rotating mast like this, it just gives you a much better sail shape. Moulded hatch cover that comes standard with the WindRider. It just sits on top of your helm position and also in your forward position. They're like giant Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shells. The idea is that you can leave these on when you're transporting the boat, or if you're sailing solo, you could probably leave this one on, which would prevent a lot of water from coming into the forward cockpit. Now, you're probably asking, can you sleep on these boats? Well, you can. Let me show you. I'm lying down in the forward cockpit now, and I'm 6 foot, and I've got plenty of leg room down there and plenty of head space. I've got more than enough room for my shoulders here. You can sleep underneath the turtle shell. Now I'm inside a coffin. I'm on my side. My shoulder's just hitting the top. Now if I had a mattress underneath me, I'd probably be pushing that shell off. So it's not ideal. You could do this in In a desperate situation, you could do it. You could sleep in here. It's kind of like sleeping in a coffin or a bivvy. You could do it. The other way to do this would be to set up a boom tent. Where are you going? Rightio, the other thing I want to try is this. This is an oversized reacher or screecher for a wetter. I think from memory, the wetter screecher is around about 8 square meters. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. This one is about 12.9 square meters. The screecher or reacher on the WindRider is 9 square meters. So I want to put this on to the WindRider, which will give us an extra 3.9 square meters. Now, from memory, these don't furl, unlike the proper wetter screecher. They don't have the same luff, and they've got a different head on them as well. Let's get that on here before Ben turns up, and hopefully the wind will pick up and we can go back out. And the idea today is we're going to get the Hobie Tandem Island out, and we're going to have a race between the WindRider and the Hobie Tandem Island. It's going to be fun. Stick around. Okay. Well, the luff is absolutely perfect, and it feels okay. It feels okay. It's not. It doesn't feel as well as the wetter screecher, and it doesn't furl as well as the stock standard reacher for the WindRider. But however, this is a much bigger sail, and it will be fun. So what I've done, I've put some low friction rings on the outside of the Arca here, and then I'm running those to the sheet points. That enables us to get a better shape in this big sail. It won't point as well as the standard WindRider reacher, but certainly downwind and broad reaching, it'll be fantastic. Give the boat a lot more power. Anyway, let me get the Tandem Island in the water. Ben will be here soon, and then we can go out and get a bit more footage. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
The outriggers are almost similar length. It's fascinating seeing the slight differences, hey?
Yeah.
Almost similar length outriggers, so much more volume on the WindRider.
Yeah.
Which gives it a lot more power. But
and on the trailer, the WindRider looks quite big, but then when you put it next to the Tandem Island, it's...
Tandem Island's actually longer in the main hull. The mast, obviously it's got a much bigger mast on the WindRider, but, they're not too dissimilar.
Yeah.
I mean, my money's still on the WindRider going faster, but, yeah.
All right.
Good fun. Okay, let's go.
Let's do it. You right?
Yeah, I'm recording those.
That's all right. Here we go. Oh, we're going to get out of here like a rocket.
And get out of there like a rocket until he hits the bottom. Let's follow him.
There we go. We're out of the creek. Got one more sandbar ahead of me. Ben's not far behind. He's done it before. That wind's really dropped off now, hasn't it?
Yeah, should we head further out?
Yeah. a little bit faster. There we go. Got some wind now. 6.4 knots. Yeah, steady 6.4. I don't know. Maybe if you pull the sail in and hold one of the ups.
Yeah, it might work.
I'll leave this camera here. You want to leave that one on there?
Oh, yep, yep.
Go.
You got it?
Yep.
Now, let's see what we can do. Don't try this time. Well, dude, you're too tall. I need to adjust these rudders.
Hey?
I need to adjust these rudders.
I love multi-hulls and I really like trimarans. The Adventure Island, the Tandem Island, they're my favourite. I love them. And I've been wanting to get my hands on one of these WindRiders for a long time. And I really like it. I do. Let's see what Ben thinks.
Didn't I? Nah. I wonder why it was so heavy.
A bit of weather helm. Looks great. What do you reckon?
That's pretty cool.
I'm having to pedal to keep up.
I mean, obviously you had a guide on that.
Here's some crashing content. Yeah. There we go. Look, see, I can push you out of the way and then I win.
Right, like that, is it?
Plastic boats, gotta love them.
You've also got to love people that don't crash into you.
This is what happens if you leave the bung out. Just coming up into the beach on the inside of Garden Island. Ben's still out there having fun. It's probably only got one more tap and then it'll be here. We're on Garden Island, which is actually a private island. You're not allowed past this high water mark, so I can't really go in there because it's all privately owned. Centerboard up.
Trying to work out how to slow it down.
That's all right. I got pedal power.
What do you want to do?
Well, do you want to? Should we get this spinnaker up and give it a go? All right. It's the bag down the front. I think it's the blue bag down the front.
I'll drop this.
All right.
Is this set up to go, ready to go on the fella?
Yep.
Oh, that's the way to jump aboard. Yeah, I didn't set up the other side, so you might need to grab that sheet.
All right.
I just poked it through. Woohoo! Oh, yeah, that's more like it.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the only. You'd almost want to go for reaching. You'd almost want to go outside that.
Yeah. So you can see that the clue's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon if you relived that outside, it'd be pretty damn sick for reaching. The plan wouldn't be so good for windward work. We'll try going to windward and we'll just see how tight you can sheet it in. But I think we're going to have trouble.
Yeah, that bloody just come in a bit so I can get that.
Yeah, nah, no good. Needs to go outside.
Yeah.
Well, if you sort that out, I'll just keep a. Oh, nice.
Oh, that works.
Very nicely.
Yeah.
Here we go.
What do you reckon?
I like it. Awesome.
All right.
I want one.
Now, I saw you sailing from the middle.
Yeah, it worked pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ropes are good. There's a little bit of friction there. It'd be nice to put some blocks or something up the front.
Okay.
But yeah, it worked okay in calm conditions, light conditions.
Yeah.
I was actually steering it quite a bit with my body weight, just keeping my weight up to windward was she had a lot of lee helming right ears.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is what you'd expect with the big sort of Code Zero screecher out in the front.
What are your thoughts about the helm position at the back and the foot steering?
Takes a little bit of getting used to. Have to get bring back my kayaking skills, but no, it works really well.
Yeah.
As soon as you get used to it, yeah.
Yep.
It's comfy.
Yep.
It's a very different way to sail, but I reckon it'll be wicked. I'm looking forward to blasting this in a bit of wind, eh?
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Especially with two people, so you get the balance right.
Yep. And you've left the Vang off all day?
Yeah, I haven't touched it.
Yeah.
I don't think it needed it with that square top. I think the way it was doing.
No.
If anything, it was still choked, so.
Yeah. There's a rooster tail behind you, Ben.
Yeah, she's fucking wrong.
Yeah, wow, that big kite really suits this boat. We're going to have to put some whisker stays on, I think, just to make sure that that bowsprit doesn't break.
Nah. Nah. She doesn't roll up very well.
No.
What are you doing?
Fiddling.
That's pretty easy, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. The outboard bracket gets in the way on the other side, but I think that's a pretty important thing for a cruising dinghy, is the ability to sort of keep it moving when the wind drops out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, just coming into the Hobie now. Let's swap those sails back over and head back into the creek. Wow, that's neck and neck now. Just taking my wind. There we go.
Windex on the masthead would be handy here.
Yeah, but the little angle wind indicators will keep moving every time the mast moves. Very little breeze at the moment, and we're still managing. There we go. 3. I could grab your bowsprit and just pull you in. There we go. Okay. Except I can't steer, film, and pedal at the same time. So I'm going to have to put...
I'll steer you. I'll steer that.
I can't steer. Hang on.
Yeah, you just
Here we go.
provide the power.
There we go.
Thanks for the tow, Matt. Thanks, Matt. Doing all the hard work. It's got some power, that garage drive, eh?
Oh, they're great.
Tide's way up, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Is it normally this high, Matt?
It's unusually high tides at the moment.
Yeah.
What was that?
Just a bit of log.
Is this that tree?
Yep. What tree? Oh, that tree. Okay, you let go.
Yeah.
Gosh, that tide's so high.
What's that? I got it. What do we? So this is the rear-facing seat now, so I can sit down and keep an eye on Ben.
I don't like this. I have to look at you when I'm staring all the time. It's like, no.
Oh.
I wonder how much water's down the bottom of that.
Yeah, we had a bit of rain last night. Oh, there you go. That's all rainwater, I hope. At least we know the bilge pump works.
Certainly very relaxing here, just steering with my feet. Main sheet ready to go if I need it. 6 knots.
Oh, we're getting very close to the reef now. Maybe we should duck under it. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
You can see the other marker there.
Yep, got it. Yep.
See all the kelp over there, Ben?
Oh, yep.
There's quite a bit of kelp up ahead too. You might want to duck a little bit lower.
I thought you said this thing just went straight through kelp.
It's not the end. Look at this wave breaking just ahead. We don't want to get stuck here.
We've got there, isolated danger. Yeah, you can sit, yeah. There you go, I'll pass you this.
Quite a big reef just here that Ben's decided to sail right up into. You see there's some bommies breaking here. It's unusual for Ben because normally he's a bit safer than this. I had a little nap on the trampoline. I wake up and Ben's in the middle of a reef. We're just sitting on 8 knots. Maximum speed's been 9.2 knots. And you know, the boat's, she's not powered up. She's got a long way to go.
I wish I'd brought my book with me.
Now, what's the wind speed you reckon, Ben?
Just a touch over 10, I reckon.
10 knots?
12, maybe 12 in the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Let me just hike out of it without dropping the camera. So Ben and I plan to take this boat out into some heavy conditions, push it to its limits, because that's kind of what we do. We're also going to take her out for an overnight cruise. So far, I really like the WindRider 17. I think this is a cracker boat. It's going to be really good for Tasmanian conditions because you can get from point A to point B very quickly, safe, very comfortably, and from what we've found, you can stay dry. What do you reckon? Yeah, 2 thumbs up from both of us. Great boat. Jim Brown's done a great job. So, we'll see you in the next episode. Stay salty. Clips Mints. You want one?
Yep. Even better, you know what I can do?
Huh? Oh.